Good evening, everyone. My name is Olubiyo Oluwatimileyin, popularly known as General X. I'm a professional MC. I'm an entertainer. Then I'm a life and a teenagers coach. And then I'm a convener of this NGO called the X Factor Movement, the X standing for extraordinary. I was also a media personality when I was in Abuja last year. I was an OAP. So and then God gave me this NGO, and we've been attending. We've been invited to over 50 schools and churches. And what is our aim? Our aim is to talk to teenagers and youths on the need for them to shun social vices and out of personal experience, which I'll be sharing now. So let me just go straight into it. I'm to give my life testimony, and then I also talk to parents. And so when she said this conference was going to come up, and then she told me what I was going to say, I was like, yes, because parents, we need to know some certain things. I'm standing here, or I'm sitting here rather, with the grace of God. I would have died. I would have died. The thing is, I was actually a drug addict for over 10 years. I was a drug addict for over 10 years. Started in university. I won't tell you the name of the university I went to because that's where I started it, for the safety of the university. But I went to Caleb International College. That was the second. So you can imagine, and then I was the only child of my parents. I'm the only child of my parents, rather. So number one, I didn't have essential parents. That's number one. And then I had parents that were on the side of the Lord. Every morning we have devotion and everything. And then my dad's younger brother was a pastor. So it is his church we used to go to. So I literally attend services every day. And then going to a school like Caleb, if you know Caleb, with the moral doctrine and everything, how come when I went to a private university, I was able to succumb? Actually due to peer pressure. Actually due to peer pressure. It started from when I was in 100 level. What I started seeing was, and that is what is reigning now. You want to chill with the big boys. So I was seeing those people that were doing, those people that were regarded as the big boys, as those that were smoking. So see, and one thing about attraction, is once something enters your eyes, once you're not able to clear it out of your mind, if you give it a foothold, it will keep on growing, until I just said, let me just start this thing. Started smoking. Actually, I started taking tramadol, then taking all the pills. Then from pills, I went to smoking, on smoking all sort of loud and everything. In the Christian private university I went to, despite not having absentia parents. So as I'm going on in my story, I'll be sharing some things. Parents, yes. Parents, I would want us, because most of us, we do not know how to properly bond with our children. Some of you might be bonding with your child, but you're not actually bonding with your children. How will I explain it? Especially those of you that have teenagers. You need to change your parenting style. The parenting style you use for your child when he was 0 to 12, when you're backing out orders, it's not the same style you use for a 30-year-old, because there's what they call the 30-year-old cycle that changes. The brain begins to change. So they are like, they feel like you can't give them orders. So instead, you become a coach. You listen more, you pay attention more, and you speak less. And then also, this can be very hard too. Also, encourage your child to take risk, to make mistake. So when they make mistake at that early age, and then they see the repercussion, they will not need to be preached to do something. They will not need to do, they will not need to, they will not need to like, so like that's how it is. So it started for me 100 level. I started, and you know, see, addiction, yeah, like I tell everyone, and that addiction is a beast. And a beast does not just become a beast. It does not become a beast, it starts from a puppy. So what you do with addiction is, as you are currently taking that thing, whatever drug or everything, you are feeding that beast. So now imagine a 10-year-old beast, which I was feeding the beast back to back. I did so many terrible things, especially I was so addicted to tramadol that I could not sleep, I could not function. As a result of that, I had an extra year in the university. So I graduated 2016, but I graduated 2017. During my graduation, I still ended up with third class because I was deep inside drug. Now, the thing about addiction here, and the thing here I want you to know is, remember I said I did not have absential parents. So when they called from the university that, they called my parents from the university that your child is doing this and this and this. That when I get home, that they should do blood tests for me. So in getting home, my parents called me and then discussed it with me, and then you know, and somebody that takes drug now will have a corny way of doing things. So I cunningly tried to drive my way through, and then maybe they over trusted me. Then they believed me because I even tried to even fake tears. They believed me immediately. So you can see I did not have absential parents. See, there are two things. You can be absent, you cannot be absential, you can be present, but you're not in that child's life. Once your child is not vulnerable enough to come and talk to you, when your child is not vulnerable enough to talk to you about some certain things that is going through, you will go and seek help elsewhere now. You will go outside. So that thing continued. So until I think it was 2020 during the Corona period, because I graduated 2017. So like my life from 2017 till like to July 2021, my life was utterly useless. I just, because having a third class now in accounting, what can I offer? So the only job I got was the financial advisor at an insurance firm, and I did not get a single client. So look at wasted years and wasted efforts. When the thing got so much, my parents now knew, I think during the 9th year to the 10th year, that was during the Corona period, because I was so addicted that I did not have money. I did so many nasty things. I sold all this I don't condemn. I sold the pots, my mother's pots. I sold. I even sold my phone. I even stole people's phone to go and buy, because it's an addiction now that had already become like really serious. That's really become really serious. And then to the point that I wanted to leave it so bad, but I could not. It just passed my power because it has already overcame me. And that is when it was during that Corona period. That Corona period, you're locked up now. So that's when they were noticing my going out in the evening and everything. So that's when they now noticed. So thank God, the rehabilitation I got, the family came together and they said I needed to be rehabilitated. So they took me to rehab July, July 2021. July 2021. 500,000 naira per month. Oh. It's not like as if the family had it, but the extended family, just because of they saw that I had a future, because they saw me right from when I was small. That this guy is going to be great. See, let me tell you, parents, something. See, how would I put this? The devil will not, tackle your child if your child does not have glory. The devil will just leave your child. The devil only challenges those that he knows are going to like be game shakers. See, the devil knew that this is what I was going to become, because this is just the beginning for me. And I'm thanking God for great platforms that I've been on to share my story and to talk about it and to bless lives. So the thing is, I'm thanking God because my life is now a testimony. Now that 500,000 naira, everybody had to even contribute, including my grandmother. My grandmother, she contributed 20,000 naira. So I went to rehab. So when I got to rehab, it was even during rehab that I almost died. That actually died. Yes, I actually died. After the whole thing, I was having, there's what they call withdrawal symptoms. I was not able to sleep. So the doctors that were there, because I was assigned to a psychiatrist who is to visit me twice every month, every week. So the doctors that were there, they didn't know much about. It's a private hospital, but there's a rehab upstairs. Look at if they locked me up in a room with a door and then with a barricade, with an iron barricade. So no matter how your addiction want to hold you, if you can break the door, but you can't break the gate. That is how I was there. Then the second week, I could not sleep. It was a Wednesday. I complained. They gave me a drug to sleep. They gave me all this drug that they give to people that like have insomnia or the people that they want to operate. It did not work. Little did they know that my own lack of sleep was that of the brain. So in the evening, I said, this is not working. They gave me injection. Maybe they gave me injection like this. So it was like as if my heartbeat tripled. Or like it was beating 4 times as fast. I went to the bathroom. I went to check my BP. I was complaining. My BP was at 10, no, 2010 over 180 something. My pulse rate was about 390 plus. I was dying. That's when the hospital now came. The hospital knows one or two about when it comes to addiction and everything. So he gave me a drug. But let me say, it was almost but too late. Because literally my spirit left my body, like literally. So like, thank God for somebody that was there with me and say I will not die, I will not die. That's how I resuscitated back and I became. So like that traumatic experience alone is like, and it is as a result of me engaging in peer pressure. That's what is entering these young teenagers. See, we live in a generation where abnormality is now the normality. That is when you now see oncolos is trending because of we're now in a perverse world. So parents, I want to please beg us and indulge that we should form a relationship with our children, close relationship that they can look up to us as their role model. They can be free to us and say what they are passing through. Spend quality time with your child, not quantity time. I don't know if I'm passing a message across. I don't know. Let me know through the comment section if I'm passing a message across. Please let me know. Spend quality time with your children, not quantity time. You can spend 5 hours with your child, and that 5 hours is not quality time. Spend quality time with your children, not quantity time. You can spend 5 hours with your children, but it's not quality time. Know what they enjoy doing and sacrifice to doing it. You can not be an absential parent, but you can be a present parent, but you are not connecting with your child. So now, thanking God. See, when I left, we were five of us that were in a clique together. Should I tell you that 3 of them are dead? Now one of them is being rushed from rehab to rehab for over 2 years now because he's mentally not stable. Mentally not stable. I don't even know the situation of but you can see the attack on my life now. God decided to bless my parents, bless extended family to secure help for me. Now the devil now wanted to kill me because the devil has seen my glory. But during that process, especially during that process, I only spent a month because that place was getting too boring. So it was just me and my just TV, no phone and everything. So that particular time was a preparation stage for me because no phones, it was just TV, and the TV basically on CNN. No phones, nothing. So it was just books and my Bible. So I had no other option than to, because it is just me now. They only come to open the gates and when they want to give me drug or when they want to give me medicine or they want to give me food. So like that was when I was reading books, I was listening to scriptures. They at the end they allowed me to they allowed my parents to get me headsets. So like and in that headset, a lot of messages were being posted there. So like I didn't know that that was the preparation stage. So now look at where prayer comes in, especially if you are a prayerful parent. Also be a prayerful parent too. But do not also just be a prayerful parent. Also bond with your child. Now look at how the parents of my parents now help me. Now I could say my life officially began January 2022. January 2022, I decided to go to Abuja. And the guy that invited me to Abuja, where I was to stay in his place, he works in TSTV Africa. He's a decoder, just like DSTV. So on that day, on that Saturday, I can never remember, he was called as a guest in the radio station, Bright FM Abuja 98.7. So he just said I should accompany him. So me, I was happy, even though I will not be part of the discussion now. That for the first time I will see a radio station. So when we got to the reception, that's how in the studio the host now said I should come in, I should join the conversation. That is how during the conversation, that's how because I'm very funny because I'm an MC and everything. That's how the host now liked me. They now took my number. Then they now said I'll be part of a co-panel. I'll be co-anchoring a Sunday program, the Guy Alpha Show, 98.7. Hello, I studied accounting. They did not ask me. They did not ask me for my CV. Look at what prayer does. See, once you have already realized, once that your child has already realized that, okay, this is he has already realized that, and then he has forsaken his old ways, he has encountered Christ. That is when God will now begin to open ways for him. That is through those ways that he'll be able to find purpose. So from there, I was going on Sunday every from 4 to 5 p.m. Got invited to TV station like 3 times, and then June 2022, that's how God gave me this vision to enlighten youth and teenagers on the need for them to shun social vices using my story. And to the glory of God, hundreds of teenagers have been won to Christ because these teenagers, they go through a lot. I hear a lot of baffling testimonies, a lot of baffling things. That there's a girl that, see, the Bible says I will show mercy on who I will have mercy on. See, I'm one of those few that God showed mercy on. So whenever I'm being given a platform to talk to youths, I usually tell them, youth and teenagers, I usually tell them, do not engage in anything, anything you cannot stand outside and beat your chest and say you're doing. Do not engage in it. Because if you engage in it, you suffer the consequence. Yes, I'm changed, but I'm still suffering the consequences one way or the other. Look at Paul in the Bible. And the ways of God are funny, because I've done so many bad things during my previous life. And then sometimes I would just sit down. Sometimes when I'm even ministering to students, I get to the point of tears because I'll be wondering, why did God decide to show me mercy? Because I did so many bad things in order to get money. So what am I tracing it back to? What am I tracing it back to? So you should please remind me what am I tracing it back to? Okay, yes. When you're thinking, I can't really remember where I dropped off from. Yes, prayer. Prayer is very, 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 very important. Prayer is very important because prayer keeps you on that pedestal. Because mainly I started
the lady you met.
Things started to fall in place. Since I started the movement, since I found a place, I now started getting sponsors, started getting partners to partner with my vision. My vision is just going to be, we inducted it September last year. It's going to be 1 year. It's going to be 1 year this month. And tomorrow we're having a parenting conference that's going to make it 1 year. But I know the platforms in which the X Factor has been. I know where God has taken us to in 1 year. If I should share with you the picture of the little beginning, just a small, the first school I went to. So it's just even primary 6 students and some GSS students. They're not up to like 20. But now I'm being invited to speak to schools. I'm talking about notable schools now, public school, private schools, to churches at a bigger platform, at Teens Camp and everything. And meanwhile, we are not yet registered. We are not yet registered, but we are planning towards that. But look at this achievement.
General X,
Yes,
sorry
ma'am.
to cut you short. I just want you to go back to that girl story. You said you met a girl, and then after that, we'll just run it because your time is actually up. But I would like you to mention that your experience with that girl.
Okay, thank you very much. I sure knew that something was missing. That's what I was trying to remember. Okay, there was this girl. She, a woman got across to me. She said there's this cousin of hers, her brother's daughter, who's at Ecoma, that is into drugs. She's into drugs. She smokes and she drinks. And I said, okay, we'll not schedule the time. So when I saw her, I knew that no, this one has passed drugs and everything. So she came with her mother. So I now told her mother that we should give the two of us together. At first, she didn't want to open up, and then I started talking to her in pidgin now, because I know I can relate with all these kind of people because of the age, because of I know how they feel and how I can relate with them. So she now explained to me that she only smokes and drinks to forget some certain things. I now said some certain things like what? She explained to me that she went to Ecoma. She's 22 years old, 200 level, she should have graduated. But during the strike, a friend told her, a friend offered her a job on Facebook to come to Ghana. So she left to Ghana without her parents' consent on sea. On getting to Ghana, she didn't know that she was going to be used for prostitution. So they took her to a river to bathe her, did a lot of ritual on her, and said that if she tells anybody this is what she's doing, that she's going to run mad. So that's how she said she was into it. She was there for 8 months with different men sleeping with her. You can imagine the kind of demonic thing that will be possessed, the demonic thing that she's carrying in her, aside people that are sleeping with herself. And meanwhile, her parents back in Nigeria were looking for her. They went to radio station, they went to TV station, they were looking for her. They could not find her. Then she now said at the 8 months, she tried to stab herself, to kill herself. Then she stabbed herself. Then she rushed her to hospital. That's when she met somebody from Nigeria that now offered to take her to Nigeria on sea. That was first experience. The second experience is she said she saw one of her friend. This is where peer pressure comes in. She saw one of her friend driving a car, a girl driving a car, and like 20-year-old. And then she asked the girl that, what's the source of your wealth now? Then the girl now took her to one Babalao, gave her some fetish things, some candles. Thank God her mommy caught her. So like this kind of a thing, when I now saw her and I knew that this one don't pass my own, this one is deliverance. So I rescheduled the meeting. I now called the pastor, who is a deliverance minister. I know that this man, do you know that when she came and this man came to her, I could sense the presence of the Lord, but I could sense that there was blocking. Like she had already been in the shackles of the evil ones already, that she can't be freed. Because I could see a blockage, because I could sense the presence of God. But still, she didn't open up. She didn't even say a word. And what now shocked me is when we now went back to the woman that invited us, and the man now said something. The pastor said, there are some people that they are not worth delivering. that they are not meant to be delivered. They are not worth baby because she has done so many occultic things. So that is why, please, we as parents, I'm begging you, I'm not just using my life example. I'm using this girl as an example too, to further buttress the points where we need to properly bond with our child, create quality time with your children. And so that you know, so especially teenagers, so be open to them so that they can come straight to you and open up and say, okay, this is what I'm passing through. You can even share your experience with them. You can share your experience of when you're dating, the things you pass through. Like that's how you being vulnerable comes in. You first of all need to be a coach for you to coach your children, and I pray God will help us. Thank you very much for having me. Any question, please just put in the comment section. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. I know that if we leave you continue talking, but we need to we need to run because of our time. There was someone hand up while you were talking. I hope the person is still available and will be able to ask the question later. I am thinking we're going to make a few changes in the program flow.